Today we're going to talk about partial fractions. This is section 7.4. What you're going to do is partial fraction decomposition. So the target, I can decompose a rational expression using partial fractions. Examples. What we want to do is we want to figure out what numerator or what two fractions or three fractions would add together in order to equal what we have. So what we're going to do first is we have to set this up. So we need to factor our denominator. So if you're looking for steps, step 1, factor denominator. So when I factor that, it breaks down into x and x minus 3. These become my new fractions. Put a plus sign in between. And now I need to figure out what goes on top. We have a and b. And our goal here is to solve for a and b. So we want to know if I add these two fractions together, what do I need to have for a and do I need to have for b in order for them to add up to 3 over x squared minus 3x. So now that we have factored, our common denominator is going to be x times x minus 3, obviously. And so we multiply each of those by what would be their common denominators. So we end up with 3 equals a times x minus 3 plus b times x. And this is what we're going to use to solve, to find a and b. Now before we can find a and b, we need to find the zeros. So we factored the bottom, then we cleared the fractions, and we need to find zeros. And my zeros in this case are x equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. Well, if x minus 3 equals 0, then x has to equal 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each x and I have to plug it in anywhere the x's are. So we're going to start with 0. So 3 equals a times 0 minus 3 plus b times 0. And what happens here is it clears one of our variables, because b times 0 is 0. So I end up with 3 equals a times negative 3. Divide both sides, and I get a equals negative 1. So first part. Next, I need to go through and do the same thing using x equals 3. So 3 equals a times 3 minus 3 plus b times 3. Well, this part now equals 0. So 3 equals b times 3 and b equals 1. Now that I have my two solutions, so if you're keeping track of your steps, number 4, solve for a and b. Number 5, answer. My answer becomes 3 over x squared minus 3x equals negative 1 over x plus 1 over x minus 3. And there we go. Next example. Remember, our first step is to factor the denominator. So when I set this up, a over plus b over. If I go to factor this guy, I get x plus 3 and x minus 2. Now we're going to do our clearing of the fractions. So I have 5 equals a times x minus 2 plus b times x plus 3. Remember, we need to find our zeros, so our zeros are going to be what makes our denominator 0. So x plus 3, in order to make that 0, x needs to be negative 3. X minus 2 is x equals positive 2. And now I can plug these guys in. So 5 equals a times negative 3 minus 2 plus b times negative 3 plus 3. Well, this part goes away. 5 equals a times negative 5. A is negative 1. Then I go to do b. 5 equals a times 2 minus 2 plus b times 2 plus 3. 5 equals b times 5. And b equals 1 again. Don't forget to write your final answer. And you do have to go back and write your final answer, otherwise you will lose credit. Okay. Go ahead and attempt this one on your own. Pause the video and come back and check your work. Now, you'll notice that you got 0 for b. That's because, if we look, x plus 1 was one of our denominators. So if we factored that, it would cancel and we would end up with 1 over x plus 3. So we went through all that, and factoring would have helped us. Okay? Go ahead and try another one. Pause the video, come back and check your answer. Go ahead and check your answer. Now, in this case, this one is already factored for us on the denominator. So when we go to set it up, all we have to do is 2x plus 1 plus b over x minus 3. Now, when we get our zeros this time, remember that's when x minus 3 equals 0 and 2x plus 1 equals 0. So we have to do a little more work this time. We're going to end up with x equals 3. Here we have to take away our 1. 2x equals negative 1. Divide. And I get a negative 1/2. So now I got a little fraction action to deal with. Not a big deal. We still solve everything just the same. A times x minus 3 plus b times 2x plus 1. Now if I plug 3 in, I know that my a part is going to go away. So I'm going to have 4 times 3 minus 5 equals b times 2 times 3 plus 1. And I can cut that part out right away if you want. Just skip that step, you can. 7 equals b times 7, so b equals 1. When I go back, find a, I'm going to have 4 times negative 1/2 minus 5 equals a times negative 1/2 minus 3. We know our b part's going to go away this time. Well, 4 times negative 1/2 is negative 2, minus 5 is negative 7, equals a times negative 3.5, so a equals 2. And there's your final answer on that one. So the next few problems, I would go ahead and pause and try on your own, and then come back and check your answer. In this case, you got fractions for a and b, and so you're going to set them up just like you normally would with your fraction. The only difference is now our factors are going to be part of the denominator. So since a was a negative 1/2, the negative 1 goes on top, 2 on the bottom. B is positive 1/2, 1 on top, 2 on the bottom. With the factor part, if I had 2/3, it'd be 2 on top, 3 on the bottom. You would treat all fractions the same. Go ahead and try this one and come back and check your answer. Go ahead and check your answer. In this case, you got a fraction for A and a whole number for B. And so you can check those out. When you're dealing with your fractions, just make sure you use plenty of parentheses when you're putting them in your calculator, especially with your negatives as well. You should be able to get to the correct values. Your homework is page 614. You're going to do 21 to 28 all, and that actually is incorrect. Your homework is a worksheet. And on your worksheet, you're going to do 1 through 8 all. Please ask for the exit ticket now. Thank you. Have a nice day.